Good morning, everyone. This is not Prof Sales. This is Kaaren coming at you today with a special video just on sourcing jeans. It was requested that we sort of go through and highlight the process when we're out and about sourcing, how we do it. And I will start by saying we both do it differently. And to be clear, this video is Kaaren's video. So I'm going to give you my version and my technique when I go through a store, because Jason and I do things very differently. He is like the speedy rabbit, wanting to get there, get it done, and I am more the slow and deliberate turtle that wants to go through everything, take a little bit more time in the store for my quality control in particular, and that just translates to maybe a little bit more time spent here versus more time spent at home and maybe more defects coming up at that time. When I walk into a store, I will immediately go to the jeans and start on one row, go all the way down. It's very methodical for me. My tools of the trade are simple. I bring in my iPhone in case I have to look something up. I also want to bring my glasses because, believe it or not, the lighting in Goodwill is not very good, and the fluorescent lights sort of play with the stains sometimes that you find on denim, so I want to be certain that I am looking at it through clear eyes. For me, I'm motivated to do this every day and keep going by the thrill of the hunt, and I hear a lot of people say that. For me, it's always different. It's never cookie cutter. When we go into a thrift store or a retail store, you never really know what to expect. So I'm always excited, sometimes like a little kid at Christmas, as to what we will find. With Jason and I, it's also sometimes motivating to have a little friendly competition. And I'm very childlike in that every now and then I'll find something that just kicks his butt that day, and I will point out winning, as he does too. I will admit that, don't tell him, but he does seem to find some really good brands in particular. He'll start at the other end, where I'm starting at the beginning, but he'll start at the far end and come up with something, that's some pair of jeans or brand or, model number or whatever that just hits it out of the park. And to use his comparison, they're not all going to be home runs like that, but our goals are base hits, and there are so many base hits in those rows of jeans, and those are our targets. So let's do this. Time for an update. We've been to 2 stores and killed it in the first with 27 pair, not so much in the second with 8 pair. Turns out we haven't visited either one, so we were able to gather some intel and make notes on, yes, we will visit the first one again. No, we will probably not visit the second one again. I'm trying to make notes as I go so that when an anomaly occurs or something worth repeating occurs, I will try to address it in some of these update videos that we shoot in between. One of the things I noticed on this trip was that I pulled a pair of jeans that should have been a super long, and I'm a fairly short person, so when I pulled the jean legs out to check it, they were not super long at all. They had been hemmed. So note to self, that's one of the good things to check and make sure. And we are going to do a video in one of the upcoming stores where we're actually going to go through line item by line item, point by point, on the different items that we check and double check in our own quality control process, just to give you a feel for all of the things that we're looking at before we purchase a pair of jeans. And it will take some time and practice, but they do become second nature. If there are 20 things we're looking for on the list, it's not that we're going to take 5 minutes on each pair of jeans to check them. It's just very methodical, systematic. We go down the line, and it does go pretty fast. I noticed that my hands are smaller, my nails are longer than Jason's. That's probably one of the reasons that I do go slower. You've probably noticed that we're not spending a lot of time on brand names either, and the reason for that is that here, brands that we use or that sell well for us aren't necessarily going to be, 1, available in your area, or 2, have a higher sell rate for you. Also, it's going to depend on when you see this video. If you're watching it this week, compared to a year from now, trends also change. The reason that we don't go into a lot of specifics on the brand names in this instance also are that we're trying to set up a format that you can use. We're trying to focus on showing you how to do it. It's sort of a hand up, not a hand out. The Jason that you guys see on YouTube is the Jason that we get at home, and it's one of the things I admire most about him. He's not going to do it for you. He's going to set you up in a way to make you successful. And the best example that I can use is when he helps my teenage son approach a new challenge or problem or set up homework or classwork. He's not, and we're not going to tell him how to do it. We're just going to give him the tools necessary to do it and be successful.
Of Denim. Finding all the deals.
Just a quick update, we visited 2 more stores and we're able to get 12 pair in the 3rd store and 10 in the 4th. But wanted to let you know that we kind of stumbled upon something that we haven't encountered before, and it's kind of a Goodwill outlet, for lack of better, but everything in the store is 50% off all the time. And on Thursdays, they sell jeans at 99 cents. It's sort of the island of misfit items in the Goodwill universe. But we were able to find 10 pair plus a couple of CDs, hard goods, for Amazon. And it was a really, really good stop. We will definitely come back to this one. We're off now to a couple more northeast of here, and so far so good. So we finally just broke for lunch, and we had wanted to do an update when we were about halfway through, but we stopped at another new Goodwill location and ended up finding 25 pair there. So we're a little bit better than halfway. We actually have 82 pair at this point. So that is a lot better than we thought we would be at this point. We've only been to 5 stores. This particular one was another home run as far as locations are concerned. Although they weren't playing music in the background, which I personally have an issue with because I like to dance and sing when I'm sourcing. We did want to mention that we stopped at a Salvation Army in between here and there just to give it a whirl because it was on the way. And the lighting was so poor, we didn't want to risk a purchase there at all. And we've touched on that previously, that lighting is key. You need to be able to see the jeans, you need to be able to see if there are any marks or defects, and we just weren't confident that we would be purchasing jeans that were free from those defects under those circumstances. And I guess that's it for this update, so we're gonna head to some more. Bottom jeans with the fur, got the whole club looking at her.
She stalks the denim like a lion stalking its prey on the plains of Kenya. Will she be successful in her hunt? Of course she will. Because she's a lion. The intent, focus, dedication to her task, There's no way any profitable jeans are not ending up in that shopping cart. She is the queen of the jungle.
Welcome to Jean Inspection Take 2. We decided to go ahead in a controlled environment and go line by line what we're looking for before we purchase a pair of jeans from a store. So although this is going to be a little lengthy, keep in mind that we're down to a science on how we're doing each one of these things, so they're sort of happening all together at the same time. So beginning with the back of the jeans, we're looking at the belt loops. Are all of the belt loops intact? The label, the brand label, in this case it's Lucky, and there is stitching around the entire outside of the label, which is good. Sometimes a leather label will come undone on one or more sides, or it will have a rip in it. And this can be a deal breaker. It just depends on how badly it has been marred. Next, pockets. If there's a pattern or a stitch on the pocket, we want to make sure that, one, we aren't missing any stitches, and two, if there's the same pattern on both pockets, they are the same and uniform. I'll also give a little pull here on the back in particular, because there are certain brands like Vigas that will rip here because they have a level of spandex in them, and it's a very common defect to find when we're out and about. So we're going to look down, we're going to travel down the length of the leg in the back and give it a good once over. Keep in mind, we've stressed this before, that the lighting in stores is sometimes poor, so do your best to scan the entire length of the leg. In this case, we're at an advantage because we're under some pretty bright lights that we use to take photographs of anyway. Next, I'll bring the leg up and I will check the cuffs. In this case, there's some wear on the cuffs, not a deal breaker. These are actually in pretty good shape. Maybe they've been folded so they've got a little bit of a bend to them. But other than that, this one looks pretty good. Once we've done a thorough inspection of the back of the jeans, we're ready to flip it over and do the front and the inside. First, we're looking for tags on the inside that will give us the brand, the size, which will include either a size number or length and width, depending upon how the brand is sized, and or if it is a man or a woman size. On the inside also, we're looking for what it's made out of, where it's made. A lot of times tags will be cut or missing, and if you can't verify what it is, where it's from, what it's made of, what size it is, leave it. In this case, we're good to go. We've got all the tags that we need, make, model, etc. As far as going to authenticity of these Luckies, they are good to go based on the inside pockets, the tag, the zipper, etc. A pet peeve of mine as a woman is to be on the lookout for crotch rot. If there is any discoloring here, we are going to leave the jeans, and we're going to address that a little bit later in some stills. But put yourself in the position of the consumer, and if you wouldn't buy them or if you wouldn't wear them, leave them on the hanger. In this case, we're still good to go. Inside looks good. All of the inner tags that I'm looking for look good. No holes. We're not missing anything. I'm going to test the zipper. Works fine. And the button, in this case, it's just a little, put it in the hole, you're good to go. Sometimes there'll be a button fly. We will highlight that in a separate photo, but we're not here to talk about that. Okay, so pockets, hands are gonna go in. Sometimes you will find things in the pockets, so I am one to always check. My biggie so far has been a crisp dollar bill. Not as exciting as Jason's condom, but I giggled like a little girl when I found it. So there you go, it was worth that all by itself. So we've checked the pockets in the front, belt loops in the front. The crotch, we're gonna look here to see if there's any wear or pilling or discoloration even. Not so much from the crotch rot, but sometimes on larger sizes where the maybe the thighs or the legs have rubbed together, it'll wear some color out of the denim. In this case, again, these jeans are looking great. We are going to come down the legs. There aren't really any special features to this pair of pants, so I'm not looking out for extra zippers or a pattern, or if there's been any distressing that I want to check out. We will leave a bona fide hole in the jeans. If we find that, we're probably going to leave it in the store. But a lot of times distressing will have the threading web still across the hole, and you should be good to go. You can trim up a lot of that if you think it's a little excessive. So we're going to do a pullback on the legs of the jeans once again. And in this case, from top to bottom, everything looks good. Again, with the cuffs. And that is about it. And I know that took a while, but when we're in the store, it takes less than probably 10 seconds, I would say. It doesn't take long at all, because we're literally going zip and checking them out that way. So that's what we do when we're in a store deciding whether or not we want to buy a pair of jeans. Two things wrong here. First, it is missing one of the interior buttons. It would not button correctly, and there's a rip where the button used to be, so it's not repairable. We would not get these jeans. A common defect, this pair is ripped right above one of the rear pockets, leaving a hole. We would not get this pair of jeans. Rookie mistake here. As I said earlier, we check belt loops. In this case, the belt loop has been pulled almost completely off the top. Would not get this pair. These next two shots are the same defect. This, if you're not looking carefully, you might miss. It's a hem. As you can see, these pair of 7 FAMs, you can no longer read the logo. Not getting. And likewise, the hem in the waist of these Levi's has been taken in 2 different spots, so we cannot get these either. If you look closely, you can see that the pockets on these Luckies do not match. In fact, the one on the left has been discolored. No bueno. In this case, the pockets not only do not match, but the stitching itself has just been worn away. They are not sellable as is. We do love our older Levi's, but in this case you can see that the leather label has worn in half, and we would not wear this, so we will not sell this. These next 3 slides are the same problem, just different versions. If you look very closely right above my fingertips, there is a stain on this darker blue pair of jeans. You have to look pretty closely. With lighter jeans, it's a little easier to spot. Both of the legs on this pair had some pretty distinguishable stains, so they were not sellable as they were. Sometimes we'll put a penny next to a mark, but in this instance, the spots were just too dark and too many to warrant us putting them up for sale. As I said earlier, one of my biggest pet peeves when quality controlling our jeans is the crotch. This one we call the crotch from hell because I'm not really sure what happened here, but it got sewn up and repaired. Here you can see the stains on this crotch from the outside of the jeans, so we're not going to buy this one today. It's also not washable. This next one, the stain is not so bad, but it's bad enough. Again, if you wouldn't wear it, if you wouldn't buy it, leave it on the hanger for someone else. So now we come to the part of our video where we share with you some of the risks and experiments that we took on this last sourcing trip. For example, this lovely pair of size 8 Not Your Daughter's jeans. They're only special because we typically don't get a black pair of jeans. But the thought here was that fall is coming up, people are going to want to change it up a little bit, and this particular brand does well for us here. Experiment number 2, this lovely red pair of corduroy Luckies. They're Luckies, which we are partial to, and they're fall-like. So with the seasons getting ready to change, this one was also worth the risk. Experiment number 3, we found 2 pair of these rehab jeans that were new with tags. We looked them up, did a comparison, our filters were new, completed and sold listings to get a comparison, and they fit our criteria. They are all selling for $25 or higher plus shipping. Not necessarily a pair of jeans that I wear with this lovely gold lame sort of finish, but they're pretty cool looking, so we thought we'd give it a try. Experiment number 4, Mecca brand jeans. We like these for a couple of reasons. We have listed them before. In this case, it's a larger size, 42-32, but they're in great shape, and so we thought we would give them a try. Experiment number 5 is this delightful pair of Blue Colt blue jeans. We are always drawn to jeans that are made in the USA. These in particular are crafted in Los Angeles, and I was drawn to them first by the cool tag on the back, and we found this exact pair selling for $26 and higher, so it definitely fits our criteria. They're just a neat looking pair of jeans, and we thought we'd give them a try. And our final experiment, number 6, are these lovely black leather pants from Banana Republic. Yes, I said leather. They are not denim. Not everything that we buy is denim. In fact, I bought a pair of black leather chaps once that we were just discussing. If they're going to get listed, I'm going to have to take the photographs and get them listed, but that's another story. They sell for $40 and higher, and they're in great shape. I could even wear them. Anyway, I digress even more. Great pants, great opportunity. We're going to give them a try. Well, this day is finally coming to an end. Just finished the 10th store, and the total for today was 137. The goal was 100, so that's a pretty solid finish at 137. So now it's time to sum it all up. This was my first solo video, so for me there was a bit of a learning curve today. There were probably moments when we both got a little cranky. I'm going to blame that on little sleep and maybe sugar overload from my son's birthday cake last night. Our approach in this, as in all things, is a little bit different, but once we put it all in a pot and mix it up, it usually comes out for the best. I hope that you got something out of today's video. Again, the goal here wasn't to show you exactly what to do and how to do it. The goal is always to set a solid foundation, and then you go from there. You're going to have to find your own rhythm, you know, the brands that work for you, the stores that work for you. We visited a lot of new stores today. Our targets were mainly Goodwills, and I'd say that 90% of them, well, 80% of them, because 2 of them we'd already been to before, 80% of them were brand new. And I called most of the new ones virgin stores because we'd not been there before, and I think that a first-time visit from us and a thorough visit pretty much cleans them out. So we had a couple of good hits. I think one was 27 and one was 25, so that's half of our day in 2 stores right there in less than 2 hours time, and that's pretty solid. And as you mold your own business, whether it's jeans or CDs or books or different clothing items, there are other steps and other parts to this to master as well. There's research, there's the retention of the research and the knowledge that you learn, and there's also a little bit of evolution and experimentation and a little bit of taking risk. And we did a little bit of that today ourselves in choosing a couple pair of jeans that we'd not chosen before because, well, I'm stubborn and I sort of push the issue a little bit, but I think that they'll pay off. And for us, what that looks like is we'll go online and search it, but important to search sold items. Not just because they're out there and they're listed for a certain price does that guarantee that you're going to make a sale. So there are other videos and other opportunities for us to talk about that, but that's a big thing. You're not just done here. And now that we have this 100, you can show them, 137 pair back there. That's a lot of denim. But now what? We have to go home and we have to photograph them. We have to list them, we have to package them, we have to ship them. So this is just one part of the big picture in this jean odyssey. Is that what you call it? This Odyssey o jean. But it's all together. It's all part of the program. And as long as you stick with it, you stay on it, you stay focused, don't get discouraged. Some days you're going to flip a lot of hangers, and others you're going to be folding a lot more pairs up and putting them in your cart. And keep this in mind. When you're having a really rough day, remember, if it was easy, everybody would do it. If this was easy, everyone would be successful at it. You have to find your place in this reselling universe. For me, now that the day is finally over, and for you, I hope that you find the same personal satisfaction in a job well done. I hope that you enjoyed this video today as much as I enjoyed helping to create it, and I hope that you got something out of it, because I certainly enjoyed putting it together for you, and I'm always learning and evolving myself. So if you liked it, is this a part where I say if you liked it, give me a thumbs up, and please make comments below, because we read them all and take them to heart. You know that this video is being made because someone made a suggestion that it would be a good idea to see a different perspective, or at least an elaborated perspective on how to source jeans. Keep watching, keep asking, keep commenting. I look forward to your journey and being a part of that, and sharing mine with you, because as I said, this is new to me. What we're doing here is always changing and evolving and growing. And although this is not Prof sales, I do wish you good sales to you.